Bob, do you have anything in your mind about this game over the years that sticks out more than others?
Oh, I got a lot of things, good and bad, so you don't have time to hear it all. Anyway, I mean, sure I do. I mean, you can imagine what some of them are. So, if I sit here and list 3 good ones, that sounds like I'm sitting here gloating about some of these plays or this.
How about 3 bad ones then?
I'd rather not reflect on those. So, like any coach, you got your good and bad always, but I choose not to reflect on the bad until brought up, so by you guys or somebody else.
Well, the bus riding in the fair is always a unique thing, but has it always been? I mean, have the fans always treated you pretty good coming in?
They treated us better coming in '99 than they have in 2000, and after that things weren't real cordial. So that's okay. This adds to the excitement of it all, and that's fans being fans. It's really quite humorous, actually. So.
Do you have any complaints on the 70? I mean, on the way the clock's running this year?
No, I think I don't know how you guys feel about it. I think overall, I think us coaches, I haven't heard any coaches really having a problem with it, and I think it's just been more consistent overall. I think it's been good. I guess that would be my feeling to this point.
Do you think that, 92 plays is a whole lot of plays, a lot of snaps. Do you think in a game like this that it could be that much, or was that an unusual circumstance last week?
I don't know. I guess it could, just depending on how things are going, and how fast and what the situations are in the game. How many snaps you're getting, or how fast you're snapping it. I think that can happen from time to time.
Bob, it seems like one of the byproducts of the no huddle this year. Not that you guys aren't making the plays, but it seems like maybe there's been more breakdowns on the other side from guys trying to get adjusted and not really being in position with the ball snap. Is that a true statement?
I don't know. That's happened some when you've seen penalties, or when you've seen, on occasion that's been, just what you're saying. But I don't think overall. I think more than that, it's the overall execution. As I keep saying, everyone wants it. We're not moving the ball so well just because we're no huddle, and it's because we're executing. We're blocking people. We're getting open. We're delivering the ball. We're running it. To me, that still is what wins for you. There isn't any gimmicks that are going to win for you. I don't believe anyway.
Bob, as long as we're talking about that, what was that call that they made down near the goal line, where they said you didn't give them time to?
They are allowed to, since we substituted. It's really quite simple. Since we substituted, they are allowed to substitute. And from the distance they had to get off the field, they didn't have time to get off the field. And we snapped the ball. They don't want to have to hold the ball until they get off. But if we snap the ball before, then it's a no play. We have to give them time to get off the field. It's not a penalty against us, but they also it's just for the safety of if a guy is on his way out, that just for the management of the game. You can't have 5 guys or 3 guys running off the field and we snap the ball and they haven't had time to get off the field.
And on the defense responsibility to make sure that they're on the field?
Well, you can't help it if you got to run from the 1-yard line all the way back to the 30 and we're ready to snap it. I mean, defense has to have the ability to line up with you, and if we substitute, they get to substitute and they get to get their guys off the field. So that's all that was. And it's the right call. I didn't have a problem with it. I understood it when it happened.
But if you don't substitute and they do and don't get off the field, that's a penalty.
Exactly. If we haven't substituted, then they have to play with what's there.
Now, you're always ready. A game like this, players are always ready to go. But is there a different type of game day preparation? Like normally this game was set at 2:30 and now it's at 11. Is there a different?
Yeah, just you change your clock. I mean, it's really no different than that. We played last week at 11:30, and we just adjusted to that. So, no, our game day routine's standard.
What time's the alarm set for an 11 a.m. game?
What time you getting up?
Do the things you do as a team in pregame. How early are you getting up, and when's that meal?
We generally have our meal 4 hours before kickoff.
What do you eat? Play?
You interested in that?
Hey, Coach, Keenan Clayton was honored as co-defensive player of the week in the Big 12. I talked to him yesterday about it. He says after watching the game film, he didn't think he played well. Is that a good sign that the players aren't satisfied?
It is. Keenan made a ton of plays, but he also sees there's some instances that he's going to get better at, and I have confidence he will. Again, he's a really good athlete and a prideful guy in how he plays, and there's just some things that could be a little cleaner overall. But that's he still made a ton of plays, so I'm not going to sit here. He had a really good game, and he's recognized that way. But I know Keenan knows, hey, I can be better than that, and he wants to be. So I appreciate that, and he knows where we can be better in some instances, and I don't think it's unrealistic at all that he can do it. So I think the more he plays, the better he's going to get.
Is there more of that sort of being particularly self-critical on this team than a typical team?
I think it's fair, maybe than in our last couple overall. I think there is more guys that want more of their play, expect more of themselves, and are more demanding than maybe in some other years. Well, yeah, Brent's pretty tough on how he grades, but I don't know. Most of us are.
Have you ever given a guy 100%?
I don't recall that I have.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
To be in the right spot every time, to not make every right read.
Right.
Bob, during the game of recruiting, do you recall any story where maybe a guy that you recruited had made their decision upon this game?
No, I don't. I think I'm surprised you even brought it up anymore. I think in the end it's more than just this game. You win this game and lose the rest of them, there are not going to be many people excited about what you're trying to tell them. So in the end, it's what you do the whole year, and there's a lot more to it than any one game. It's what you do with your whole body of work, and I think more than anything.
You say you're all about championship, and this game is the critical game to win a championship.
Well, it's a big step towards it, but then it doesn't mean much if you don't finish them. You've got a whole bunch of other steps too. This is only the 6th game of the year, so there's 6 other conference games coming. So that's a major factor. You've got to, if you win this one, of course it's a big step, but then so the next one gets big too.
Several people nationally are now talking about the Big 12 maybe stepping ahead of the SEC. Your thoughts on that, or the Big 12 in general?
I don't. For me to get in that kind of debate, it makes no sense. In the end, I understand we've got a really strong and powerful conference, and it's a challenge every week. And you look at in particular, you look at all the great quarterbacks which engineer all these offenses. It's a challenge. So, and how much of the other conference do I get to see? That's hard for me to do. I don't get to see that many of their games. So in the end, that'll be for everyone else to debate. We're going to try and win this week.
Coach, you have so many guys on the roster from Texas. Moses told us he was actually a Texas fan growing up before he came here.
Moses was?
He was.
He didn't tell me that.
That's what he said. I guess he wouldn't have told you. But how much does that
I have to tell the other guys.
How much does that add to this game?
You may not play this week, too.
How much does that add for these guys emotionally, all the guys from Texas wanting to beat the Longhorns?
I don't know that it does. Because of where you're from. I don't buy into that. I think more than anything, they understand it's such a major challenge because of the quality of team and the ramifications, of trying to take another step towards, winning your division, winning the Big 12, winning a national championship. All those factors are there, and the challenge of playing an excellent football team. I think that's all you need.
Coach, you talked about the quarterback play in the Big 12, and you recruit Texas a lot. How much better are quarterbacks, high school quarterbacks in Texas now than they were maybe 5-10 years ago? It seems like they've improved a lot.
Oh, but I don't know, why not just Texas? I think just overall there's just more and more prep teams throwing the football and developing guys at younger ages of mechanics of throwing, but also just in the schemes and the way they're running spread offenses, that kind of thing. You're just seeing more and more of them developed at younger ages.